What's up, guys? Silver here with another Halo Master Chief Collection Achievement Guide. This time we're doing Part 8 of Keep Your Foot on the Pedrogas, which is complete all of Halo Reach's campaign missions on Legendary in under 3 hours. So start up the package. We're going to sprint to the right immediately at the start of this mission, and there's going to be a ghost who is distracted. I don't know what he's doing. He's texting and driving. He's not paying attention. So you could easily hijack this guy and just speed to the next section and avoid all of this nonsense to begin with here. So we're skipping this whole first encounter, speed right to the tank here, and we can hop out and hop into this tank. And we'll be able to take out the sniper tower real quick. There's a gunner on top of that, so make sure you take that guy out. I was a little risky here. I kind of didn't wait for my shield to go back up because it is a speed run. But you could always just wait for your shield to go back up after a couple seconds if you'd like. Round this corner, and there will be 3 things you need to kill: the shade turret, the sniper tower, and another ghost. And there's going to be another shade turret on the top over here towards the right. It's tough to see him. If you put on your night vision, you could actually see him a lot easier. So that's a good idea. I didn't do it here, but if you're having trouble spotting him, you could turn that on and spot him more easily and then take him out quickly. And there's a bunch of infantry to the left now and a couple ghosts. So take these guys out as quickly as you can, and then we'll be able to roll past this whole section. If you're trying to be more cautious, you want to go butt first, but that's slower. So we're going for the speed run here, obviously, so we're going kind of all in here. But if you're not as good at taking them out quickly, you could always go butt first if you'd like. We're just going to move up here, and there's going to be 2 anti-air guns, 2 of these giant guns that we're just going to shoot from far away. You could actually, you're supposed to take them out from inside. You're supposed to like lower the shield and then destroy the core inside. But you could actually just take them out by shooting them with the tank or shooting them with anything really if you have enough firepower. So we're going to take out the first one on the left, and then we'll divert our attention to the one on the right. There's also some jackals in the area, and there's also some banshees flying up ahead. They usually ignore you for the most part. Sometimes they are more aggressive than others, but we'll just move past them. Since we are speed running here, we are going to just roll past this whole area once we take out those 2 anti-air tanks, or anti-air turrets, not tanks. But then we'll actually be able to get Noble Team to spawn in. They'll come in on a Falcon, kind of flying along this path that we're taking. They're going to fly over us, and we're just going to go meet them up ahead here in a little bit. But on our way, we have to take out this sniper tower. You want to shoot to the right of that tree there. The tree's obscuring most of your view of it, but you could actually still clip the side of it to blow it up with one shot there. And then there's a handful of ghosts in the area, so just take these guys out so you don't have to worry about them. And you want to make sure that you take out the grunt that was in that sniper turret that we destroyed. Sometimes, most of the time when you blow it up, he will be dead, but sometimes he'll survive and be kind of hanging out behind the wreckage at the base of that sniper turret. So keep an eye out for him over there if he's kind of lurking behind there, and otherwise we'll just keep moving forward. So we have a bunch of turrets and some revenants over here as well. So we're going to slowly and surely take these guys out, kind of go over this hill here, and you could actually see that there's a bunch of turrets in the distance. We could take out one of them without them even being able to shoot at us. They're so far away that they could see us, but their bullets actually stop shooting at us right before they hit us, so we have a good vantage point here. And if there's any other turrets other than that far one shooting at you, you could always just back up, and you'll be safe behind this kind of rise in the terrain here. So we're just going to move forward slowly and surely, but quickly and unsurely. We're going to do all the opposites. Now, slowly and surely, you'll be able to make your way through here. We got a lot of firepower. Obviously, the tank is very powerful and has infinite ammo, so we'll try to roll through here as fast as possible. That's the most dangerous turret up at the top there. It's kind of tough to see, but again, if you use your night vision, you could see him and pick him out more easily and be able to snipe him with your tank here. So just kind of back up like I did into the area so you can more quickly retreat if you need to avoid taking fire from that fuel rod turret. And then we're going to blow up the last remaining revenant at the top here, bail out of our Scorpion tank, and then sprint over to the ghosts over here. You want to make sure that you don't take out these ghosts accidentally. There's 2 empty ghosts just sitting over here, so you could grab that, and then we'll be able to speed to the next section. So we're going to go up here. We're going to go back to Sword Base like we did in the Mission Oni Sword Base. Kind of going through the same geometry here, the same parts of the level. But we're going to... I actually died right here, so my time increased a little bit. So I reverted to my last checkpoint, and we're back here alive again. And we're going to speed up in this direction. Just follow this path. We're going to boost past these elites and these turrets. And most of the time you can make it. Sometimes you get killed, which is what I did. But second try worked just fine. And there's a health pack right there if you need it, which I did. And we're going to move in here, and we're going to take out these jackals in the back right corner as quickly as possible. They don't have any shields or anything, so you just headshot them real quick with the DMR. Then there's 2 jackals with shields more towards the right. So we took those guys out. You could actually jump up on the center structure of this whole room here, and then you could actually make it to the top really quickly. But it's a little risky, and it's not really worth it. You could just quickly take these guys out instead of trying to learn that trick. It's not that hard of a trick, but I just figured this would be much more manageable if we just slowly went our way up. And we have a DMR with a ton of ammo. I don't have a ton of ammo right now, but there is a crate next to the door that we came through to get into this room, and that crate has a ton of ammo. There's also more DMR ammo at the top of this section. If we get to the 3rd floor, you can see I was kind of climbing on the center structure here. That's how you would climb up if you wanted to do the speedy version of this, which is just climbing up that center structure and then jumping to the top catwalk here. And then there's a bunch of jackals that would spawn in this hallway, and we would just nade them. But we're going to move through here. You can see we finished them off pretty quickly anyway without that exploit. But now that we're in this hallway, there's no enemies, but there are some plasma pistols on the ground, and they have full ammo, so pick one of those up. I have full ammo now, and mostly full DMR, I believe. Or maybe it's entirely full. It's almost full. We got one shot missing there, but we're going to turn our attention to the engineer in this section. All the way at the end of this area, there's an engineer. Take him out first so he doesn't provide shielding to the elites in the area, but be aware of the elites because they could close the gap on you and start firing at you. You can see my shield is not here anymore due to the aforementioned elites. But we're going to take those elites out now. You can see they have low shielding. Since they're invisible, that's a trade-off they take. They are invisible, but that means they don't have that much shield. So you could quickly shoot your plasma pistol at these guys, and then you'll be able to just take their shield all the way down, and then you can just switch to your DMR for the headshot real quick. So that's what we're going to do here. Just kind of have them expose themselves. They start shooting at you, and then you could just kind of return fire, of course, and take them out. And then this guy comes to the top of the ramp. Usually I stay back if I'm trying to kind of be more conservative. But you could actually just run up to him and noob combo him real quick with an overcharged plasma pistol, and then you could finish him off with the DMR. The overcharged plasma pistol will, of course, knock his shields entirely down, so then you could just do the quick one-shot headshot to finish him off there. But we flip the switch, skip the cutscenes, and we find ourselves here at the firefight map Glacier, which is also Halsey's lab in the campaign. And we're going to move forward and wrap around to the left, and there's going to be jetpacks on the wall. That's what I'm going to exchange my sprint for. So get rid of the sprint, grab a jetpack, and we're going to jetpack on top of the building over here. And we're going to grab a Banshee real quick. So the Banshee should be kind of flying around haphazardly, not really having any real direction. They don't shoot at you that much, and you could just kind of fly up to one as they pass over you, and then you could just hijack them. And oddly enough, they don't have an elite inside of them. They're just flying seemingly on autopilot. So when you kind of have the animation of kicking them out, nobody actually is there to kick out. But either way, we have a Banshee now, so we're going to use it to attack our enemies, and also we'll be able to quickly fly to all these spider turrets and be able to activate them all. They're actually a pretty good distraction. They are pretty good at providing some additional firepower as well, of course. And also I like to use them, especially one of them in particular, for kind of an early alert system, because I'm going to hang out by one, and it kind of is overlooking my flank, so I'll know if I'm about to be flanked because it'll start firing in that direction. So super useful, but activate all of these in between your bouts of killing all the grunts and jackals in the area. You want to try to not get too close to the jackals and the grunts on the ground because they can overcharge plasma pistol your Banshee, and that will stun it and you'll fall out of the sky. And then they could keep stunning it and throw plasma nades at you and stick you, or otherwise shoot you and blow up your Banshee, and then you're dead. And you're reverting to your last checkpoint, and you've lost some time, and we're all about saving time right now. So right now I'm kind of just flying around the map, killing as many enemies as quickly as possible, and then once you kill enough enemies, the Wraith will come in, and that's what we're going to hijack next. So we will have a Wraith to take on the remainder of the enemies in this mission. So we're just kind of keeping our distance from these guys, and I'm not taking my own advice. At certain points you can see I'm flying pretty close to these guys once in a while, so I would say don't do that if you're not comfortable doing that. Also, you want to make sure that if you are doing that, you want to kind of look at all the enemies you're approaching and make sure that they don't have an overcharged plasma pistol ready to go and already charged up. So just kind of fly around, keep your distance if you're not comfortable again, and we'll just, like, look at that shot. From far away, we got a triple kill, so no need to get too close. Just wait for him to cluster up, throw a Banshee bomb down or two, and then the Wraith will come in, and we'll be able to fly around behind it. The Phantom drops him off. And we'll be able to use our plasma pistol to weaken this turret, the guy on the turret. And you can see I'm kind of just hovering here with my jetpack. That was kind of cool. I don't ever do that. That was my first time and only time ever doing that. But just take them out regardless of your hovering status. and then hop on the front of this thing and punch it twice to get the hatch off. And then we're going to hop on top, and we're going to shoot the elite driver out of the Wraith. And then we'll just take the Wraith, and we'll have it for the rest of the mission. So this is a much easier mission, much easier section with this little trick. So we have the Wraith now. We could just kind of move forward and bombard the area ourselves and take out all of these guys. There's going to be more waves of enemies, so we have some work to do here, but it's a lot easier work, again, with this Wraith. So take out all these guys on the left. There are some additional troops coming in from the right. There's still a dropship down there, so you don't want to get flanked or pinched. So kind of just make sure you focus on one side. And I just got noobed, and you can see I'm stunned now, so that's not good news. But fortunately, there was no enemies. There were no enemies, to be grammatically correct, that were in the immediate area that were a threat. So I just kind of popped back up and was able to kill those guys before they were any real threat. So now that we have this bottom section cleared out, we could kind of use this bottom section as a base of operations. So I know nobody's going to come up behind me, so that's a very comforting thing. So I could kind of go back there if I ever need to. So I'm going to clear out this whole section, and I'm going to jetpack over here. Sometimes I started grabbing the sprint again during the Banshee segment while I'm just flying around with the Banshee. I flew back and got my sprint at one point. And not on this playthrough, apparently. I still have my jetpack. But if you do that, you'll be able to noob that guy. No, if you do that, you'll be able to sprint back and forth between these turrets more quickly so you can reactivate them. Once they take enough damage, they go down, and you have to reactivate each of them individually and manually. So it's just quicker and easier to do that if you have the sprint. But we don't have that, but that's okay. We're going to just hang out here. Once the additional waves come in, you want to come down here. This is a really good spot. You could actually take out this Phantom before he's able to drop off all of his troops. So you don't have to worry about a bunch of troops now that would have been deployed because they're already dead. So once you get this Wraith, there's already going to be some enemies in the area. And then there's going to be 3 additional waves of Phantoms that come in and drop off more troops. And we're in that first wave right now. And the way you know that the first wave is coming in is Dr. Halsey will say something over the radio. So once you hear Dr. Halsey start talking, you just want to boost down to that section that we were in that got us behind that Phantom so we could easily take the Phantom out, and then we could easily kind of come up behind all of those enemies that were dropped off by that Phantom. So that is the first wave. The second wave you'll know is coming because the music will change. So keep an eye out, or an ear out rather, for that music change. Once that happens, boost back down to that little hiding spot so we can get behind the next Phantom that comes in. And then the third wave will also be coming in right after Halsey has some dialogue. So Halsey dialogue means wave 1's coming in. Music change means wave 2's coming in. More Halsey dialogue means wave 3's coming in. And each time that happens, you want to make sure you're down at our little hiding spot we were in. But we're still in the middle of wave 1 here. We're going to make our way around the map and just clear out enemies as we come upon them. You want to make sure that you're clearing out enemies and moving into safe spaces before you move forward, because you don't want to obviously kind of leave enemies behind that could flank you or come up behind you or board you and stick you or something like that. All bad stuff. Just don't let that happen. I just hopped out and activated that turret, or reactivated that turret. And we're going to move over here. And about now is time for wave 2 to come in. So I will be hanging out down here waiting for that to happen. And once the music changes, we will come down to our little hiding spot again. And we could wait for the second Phantom to come in. I almost said Pelican, but that would not be correct. It's a Phantom. Hang out right here, nice and snug up against the rock. So we'll just wait here for the Phantom to come in. And this Phantom will have 2 ghosts on it, actually, so we will hopefully take it out before those ghosts even are dropped off. So we're going to shoot the Phantom in the top left section. So just keep firing at the top left. That's a weaker section of the Banshee, or not the Banshee, of the Phantom. And we'll be able to take it out in 4 shots usually. So we could quickly take him out before he lands too many troops, including the ghosts I was talking about. So that whole group of enemies is totally destroyed. Don't have to worry about that. All we have to worry about is enemies coming in from the left, which are considerable actually at the second wave, because there are actually 2 hunters that come in. So I'm going to come up here and challenge them. Here they are. Look at these guys. A giant pile of worms just waltzing over. So we'll take these guys out. You can see I'm kind of using the incline here of the terrain for cover. I could kind of shoot up and over the hill without really exposing myself too much, just by the design of the Wraith mortar. Kind of lob it over the hill while I'm staying down below the hill, instead of just going to the top of the hill myself and exposing myself. The general public usually frowns upon exposing yourself, so we're going to stick to that, and we're going to not expose ourselves here. We can't risk getting arrested for indecent exposure and going to jail. We have an important mission we have to complete, saving humanity basically, no big deal. Most of the enemies are cleared out at this point, so we should be hearing some Dr. Halsey dialogue pretty soon, which will indicate that Wave 3 is upon us. And then we'll be able to move down one final time to our hiding spot. I just heard the dialogue, so I'm going to take a right and head down here, and we'll resume the position, or assume the position? Yeah, we're going to assume it, but we're kind of resuming it because we've done it before, very recently, might I add. But here we are once again in our snug little rock spot over here, and the Phantom will come in, and the Phantom actually comes in and drops off its troops very quickly this time, so we won't have time to blow up the Phantom probably, but it drops off this Wraith, so that Wraith is what we really want to focus on. So the Wraith actually totally ignores us for the most part. It will kind of move forward, do a spin, and then kind of look up at Dr. Halsey's lab. So you could actually just wait for it to kind of have its back to you, and you could take it out really easily. Or you could just, go straight at him right away because we're on a speed run. So feel free to do that if you'd like. But we have some enemies up here to take care of. And then once you take out enough enemies in this wave, you will be able to move up and activate the switch to end the mission here. So you don't have to take out this entire wave. You'll know when the time is right because Dr. Halsey will speak again and be like, all right, the door's open, whatever, come hang out. You can see right there as well, it says objective complete on the top of the screen. So now I know that means we can move up, but be careful because like I mentioned, you don't have to clear out the whole last wave to be able to move on. So there could still be some enemies in the area. There probably are still some enemies, so don't, let your guard down. So just keep that in mind and then head up here and we'll activate this switch and that will trigger the cutscene. It will end the mission and we will see our time, which is a sporty 16:42. So the par time for this mission is 20 minutes and we came in well under that at 16:42. And essentially our goals are par times for all of these missions because all the par times add up to 2 hours, 35 minutes. So that gives you a nice 25-minute buffer in order to get the under 3 hour achievement. Some missions you may go over a little bit, some missions you may go under a little bit, but if your average lands somewhere near the par time, you're golden. Again, you have that 25-minute buffer by default, and then if you save time on other missions, you could kind of take some extra time on the longer, tougher missions. But that's it for this one, guys. Join me for the final installment where we tackle the last mission, the Pillar of Autumn. Thanks for watching, guys. If you found that video helpful, be sure to click on the scorpion icon to subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. You can also check out some related guides by clicking on the videos on screen, and you can find links in the description for other social media links of mine. Stay tuned for more Halo guides, and I'll see you in the next one.